I'm joined in the studio by Noga Tarnopolsky, an independent journalist with 2 decades of experience covering the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. You will know her well from this show because she has been on very regularly for the last couple of years discussing the increasing tensions in the area. Noga, it's great to have you here. Thank you for being with us. Tell me about everything I just said. It does seem strangely, particularly between Iran and Israel, which are not only belligerents, but belligerents who usually have a lot of words to say about each other, that neither have in the last couple of days. Everybody seems to be trying to cool this down a bit. Well, let's hope. Let's hope they're scared and maybe scared into a certain kind of silence. I'm scared. I mean, the idea of Iran and Israel going at it is really akin to something pretty close to World War III. I'm glad you're scared. Yeah. I'm terrified. Yeah. I live there. Yeah. Yes, it could be. By the way, we're not out of the danger zone. It still could be. Iran clearly, if we take a step back in the big picture, wants regional hegemony, wants to show that it is the big boss in the region. So you see Hezbollah people, militants armed by Iran. In fact, the general who you mentioned, the top general who was killed apparently by an Israeli hit in Damascus, this is the guy who for the last 20 years has been in charge of arming the Iranian proxies. Right. So he had a direct hand in the attacks of October 7th through arming Hamas. He arms Hezbollah, the Houthis in the south. So Israel is surrounded by this, and Iran has really been resurgent. Right. That's because what they wanted. Israel has lived in many cases on the fear of its hostile Arab neighbors. But in fact, the Houthis, Hamas, Hezbollah, Arab groups financed and technologically provided for by Iran. And directly trained by Iran, which this gentleman also did. I think it's really important to mention, speaking of the Arab countries surrounding Israel, that Egypt, with which Israel has a peace accord, Jordan, with which Israel has a peace accord, Saudi Arabia, with which it doesn't, but it hopes to, or Biden hopes. There's some talk about that happening. These countries all took part, alongside the United States and Great Britain, in the air defenses of Israel. The reason no Israelis died last Saturday in this massive Iranian attack was really an alliance of all these nations. And I have some good news to share with you, which is the little girl, the Israeli girl who was hit, the only victim of that Iranian attack, is now breathing on her own. Oh, great. Her family just announced, so she'll survive. A 7-year-old Bedouin girl from southern Israel. Well, you and I have a lot of opportunity to talk about sort of the 50,000-foot view and the global politics in the region and even the domestic politics. I do fear in the last 2 weeks, as we've been talking about Iran and Israel, there are hostages. And there are still Palestinians who are dying, innocent ones, and there is still a famine headed toward Gaza. The people victims of this get forgotten in our big game wars. 100%. 100%. And it's shattering for me to realize, as someone who's covered these politics for so long, the fact that today's political leadership, the regional ones, truly, it appears to me, just don't care. This little girl, her father announced that she's breathing on her own, that she's going to make it in the last hour, and he added and said, no member of the Israeli government has reached out to us. Yeah. No minister, no aid. Israelis and Palestinians, I think it's fair to say, each in their own way, just feel that they're on their own right now. Yeah. You also hear increasingly reports of anger at Hamas, which is, ruthless Islamist militia that has ruled Gaza, and the first victims of them were the Gazans. Mm-hmm. And you hear more and more kind of daring critiques of Hamas from Gazans who've just about had it. So you and I have talked for the last couple of years because Israelis stood up against what they thought were things that their government were doing that were unfair. Is there some chance of a larger groundswell movement that involves Palestinians protesting their own governments and Israelis protesting their government that could lead to some change, that could lead to peace? I mean, is there any hope you have in your heart, having covered this as closely as you do, living in Jerusalem, that something good could come of this? Yes, there absolutely is, and I can even name names. There is an organization called Standing Together that has gotten stronger, and it's an organization of Palestinians and Israelis who meet up, who hold events, and who protest together. Mm-hmm. There is in Jerusalem a community center in my neighborhood called Feel Beit, which is a play on Hebrew, Arabic, and English, to feel at home. A community center has wonderful Arabic, Hebrew events, and I could go on and on. But the people involved in, I would say, active initiatives for creating a positive life in the future have gotten stronger out of this despair that most of society is feeling.
Tell me about what happens right now in Israel. There is a break that is becoming increasingly clear between the military establishment, which is not a liberal organization in Israel, and Netanyahu, because they feel that he is doing things to maintain his hold on power, probably so he doesn't go to jail, and that's not in keeping with Israel's actual security needs.
That's right. And it's extremely, extremely dangerous because the generals running this war feel that they are being thwarted. In fact, the chief of staff of the Israeli army has said out loud that the government needs to have a strategy so that the military gains won't be lost. And that to me means that military gains are already being lost, that Hamas is finding a way to reposition itself politically in Gaza because the Israeli government has refused flat out to name who will be the new administrator.
Right.
And so for the army, this is a catastrophe because they don't want to have to become a local police force.
They very clearly said this is not going to be practical. Israel administering Gaza is not something they want nor can
It's going to be wasting for the army, is what they say.
Noga, thanks for everything you do for us. You are always ready
pleasure.
On a moment's notice. There are many times I've spoken to you, and I know it's the middle of the night. You hear the call to prayers behind you when you're in Jerusalem, so it's great to see you here.
Thank you so much.
Noga Tarnopolsky is an independent journalist with 2 decades of experience covering the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Hey everyone, MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.